This is the GeoSketch tool video for the image processing tool. This is the second tool in the toolbar. If we select this tool, it presents a panel similar to the panel for importing AuxView images. In this case, the image that we select will be the base image for doing a color balance or a histogram balance. If we're just going to do sharpening, then there is no need to select a base image, so we can select any image. I'll select frame 0, and as with the image import tool, if you right click on an image, you can open it with some sort of viewer and preview the images to decide which one you would want to select for the base image. I'll open the images, and in this case it gives me the path and the base image that I selected, and again I can choose a subset of frames, and it's only going to perform image processing on those frames that I select. If I select a subset of frames, it will not image process all of the frames in the directory. And I have choices for my image processing. By default it's set to do both sharpening and color balancing, but I can choose to do just sharpening, or I could choose to do just color balance, or I can choose to do both. And it's going to actually change the image files, and we want them to stay in the frames directory for when we import them, so it's going to save the original images to a directory of your choice. By default it's just going to create a directory under the frames directory called originals, and if you wanted it to be in a different location, you can change this path. So I'll go ahead and say OK. It gives me a list of all the images that I'm going to perform image processing on. Say yes, and this can take a few moments for it to actually perform the processing on those images. And then once I'm done, I can go back to import the images. Now, one thing that we'll note is that the image processing algorithms cannot write PNG files, so it converts them to TIFF files. So for each of the images that I selected, I see that it has been turned into a TIFF file, and I have the originals directory, so I can look in that directory, and there are all my original images going from 0 to 180 in increments of 10. So if I go back to the top, I can go ahead and import the series, use the defaults of every 10 images from 0 to 180. Now I have images that have been sharpened and color balanced.